Chapter 19. Elena's sitting on a bench outside her building when Nora and I get back from walking the dogs the next day. There's a book open on her lap and a can of soda on the ground. When she spots us, she says, "Oh my gosh, these dogs, so cute. I can't believe you're walking all of them." "Hey, Nora." "Hey, E," Nora says. "Yeah, we're official now." Lily and Raleigh immediately go over to Elena and lick her face. "Aren't you such a good doggy?" Elena says in a baby voice as she rubs their heads and chins. "And you too, such good doggies." They both give satisfied grins. Meanwhile, Ziggy plops down on the sidewalk panting. Tank goes to sniff Elena's soda can, but Nora tugs on his leash to pull him away. Elena picks up the soda can and takes a gulp. "What are you up to?" I ask as I fill our dog bowl with some more water and place it on the ground in front of Ziggy. He slurps up some water, and after he's done, Tank does the same. Elena holds up the book, A Long Walk to Water by Linda Sue Park. "Homework. My brothers have a friend over, and they're playing video games. They're being so loud, so I came out here. I was gonna go," she lowers her voice, "to the hideout, but since it's so nice out, I decided to sit outside instead." "It is really nice out," I say. "I should bring my homework out here after we drop the dogs off." "Okay," Elena says. "You too, Nora." "I would," Nora says, "but I want to work on my screenplay before I do my homework. I came up with a good idea for a scene today, during gym, actually." "Oh, when you're ready to film, can I audition to be in your movie?" Elena asks. "Sure. From what I saw on your LARP videos you showed me, you'd be great." Elena grins. Ziggy starts pulling toward the front door. "We should probably get the dogs home," I say, "but I'll come back out." "Okay," Elena says. Nora and I head inside. "You sure you don't want to come and sit outside with us?" I ask Nora after we ring Carlos's doorbell. "I'm going to talk to Elena about the messages, but you can work on your screenplay." I didn't bother telling Nora about the last message that I found. "You don't have to worry about me anymore," since she's made it clear she'd rather focus on other things. "I'm sure," Nora says. "As soon as I get the screenplay to Miss Francis, I'll be free to hang out again." "We should have another game night to celebrate," I say. "Yeah." "Hey, girls," Carlos says as he opens the door. 10 minutes later, the dogs are all back in their apartments, and I'm back in mine. Dad's cooking dinner, pasta and meat sauce, from the smell of it, my favorite. Malia is sitting at the dining room table doing her homework. Mom's not home from work yet. "Dad," Malia says as I pass by her on the way to the bathroom. "I need help." "1 second," Dad says over the sound of the vent fan from above. After I wash all of the dried dog slobber off my hands, I switch my dog walking backpack for my school backpack in my room. In the living room, Dad's leaning over Malia, helping her with a math worksheet. "I'm going to do my homework outside for a little while with Elena. She's sitting on the bench out front." "Okay," Dad says. "I'm picking up your mom from the train in 40 minutes, so be back for dinner by then." "Got it." Outside, Elena is on the same spot on the bench, flipping to the next page in her book. I sit next to her. "I'm back." She uses her finger to hold her place in her book. "Hey." I open my backpack, take out a folder, and flip through it as if I'm figuring out which homework assignment to do first. But I'm actually thinking about how to ask Elena about the hideout messages without flat out asking her about them. "Do you have to do this a lot?" I ask. "Leave your apartment because your brothers are being too loud or whatever?" "Sometimes. They can be really loud." I laugh. "Do you get along with them?" "Yeah, I mean, we don't fight much. We just like different things. What about you? You have a little sister, right?" "Yeah, we get along fine. She kind of looks up to me." "That's cute." "Yeah, it's just hard when I have to be the strong one for her. Like when my parents argue, I tell her that it's going to be okay, even though I don't know that for sure." Wait, why did I say that? Sorry. I looked down at my homework folder. I didn't mean to get so personal. No, that's okay. When I look at Elena again, there's a sympathetic expression on her face. "I'm sorry you're dealing with that." "Thanks. If you ever need someone to vent to, I'm a good listener." I smile. "Thanks. Same with you. If you ever need to talk about anything." That's why I love the hideout. It's nice that we can sneak away and hang out with each other when we need it. "Yeah." Plus, it's always there when I need a break from my family. Do you get along with your parents? I ask. Elena nods. I'm the youngest and the only girl, so I get away with a lot. She laughs. Lucky, I pause and then say, tell me more about LARP camp. It sounds so interesting. Elena puts her book down and grins. I know it's kind of nerdy, but it's so fun. The camp is basically a normal sleepaway camp, except in between swimming in the lake and building campfires, we get into character and play. The counselors do it with us. She tells me about all her character, a fairy, and how she fits into the world that they're all playing. Getting dressed up is the best part. You saw my Renaissance fair picture. I remember seeing it on her phone my first time at the bus stop. You looked amazing. You're meant to be a fairy. She blushes. Thanks. I want to start making my own costumes. My mom just got me a sewing machine so I can learn. That's really cool. Hearing her talk about LARP reminds me of myself when I talk about movie scores. I love that she's also passionate about something. We're quiet for a moment as a car pulls into the building driveway and parks in an assigned spot. By the way, do you ever draw on the walls in the hideout? I ask, or write anything on them? No, Elena says. I'm terrible at drawing, and my handwriting is like chicken scratch. Sometimes when I read notes I took during class, I can't understand what I wrote. It's bad. She laughs. The handwriting in the messages is pretty neat, I think, picturing them again in my mind. So Elena must not have written them. The older man that Miles and I saw in the laundry room the other day, Mr. Hollins, gets out of the car that just parked, and he passes us by as he enters the building. He's holding a takeout bag, and I get a whiff of Mexican food. Now I wish Dad was making tacos instead of pasta. Oliver draws on the walls sometimes, Elena says. Have you seen his stuff before? He's amazing. Yeah, he's always sketching on the bus to school. It's got to be Oliver then. He's the only one left. He has to be writing those messages. Unless someone else goes down to the hideout that I don't know about, I'll have to talk to Oliver next to be sure. But maybe I've solved this mystery. I have to figure out how to ask him about it. More important, I need to make sure he's okay. Chapter 20. All week, I try to find a moment to talk to Oliver alone, but he's never in the hideout when I go down there. I don't want to talk to him about this on the bus or at school while the other kids are around, so I decide to visit his apartment on Saturday. While I'm finishing up my homework so I can forget about it for the weekend, Mom pokes her head into my room. Hey, honey, can you come into the living room for a minute? Okay. I stick my pencil into my textbook to hold my spot. When I get into the living room, Malia's already there on the couch next to Mom. Dad's sitting on the armchair. Mom moves over, pats the space on the couch between her and Malia, and I sit down. We're having a family meeting, Malia says, matter of fact. Mommy says that we can have ice cream after. Family meeting? The last time we had one, our parents told us they were selling our house. I switch back and forth between Mom and Dad, trying to figure out if this is good or bad news. Dad's leaning on his knees with his hands clasped in front of him. What's going on? Wait, did you hear back about that job? I asked Dad. You got it? Is that it? For a second, I imagined my parents telling me that Dad did get the job and somehow we're able to get our house back. But Dad exhales and shakes his head. It doesn't look like I'm getting that job. Oh, I say, but you said you nailed the interview. I did. I thought I did, but it was really competitive. Did they say why they didn't hire you? No, actually, they haven't returned my emails or calls, so I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure they went with someone else by now. They said they wanted to fill the position quickly. But if you don't know for sure, maybe there's still a chance, I say. Maybe, Dad says, but he doesn't look all that hopeful. If it's not about the job, then what's this all about? I look over at Mom, who hasn't said a word since I sat down. She clears her throat. Girls, I want you to know that your dad and I love you both very much, and this is not your fault at all. I freeze. What's not our fault? Why do I feel like I'm about to be flung into the air by a slingshot again? Things have been stressful with selling the house and the move, your dad's job search, Mom says. We've decided that what might help is if your dad spent a little time away from the apartment. Away where? Malia asks. Yeah, what does that mean? I ask. I'm going to stay with Uncle Spencer for a while, Dad says, but you're still going to see me every day. Spencer's going to use his work truck and let me borrow his other car. I'll still come over in the mornings to take Malia to school. I'll still pick her up in the afternoons and hang out here with you both until your mom gets home. And we'll still do things together on the weekend. Wait, what? I ask. You're moving out? Only for a little while, Dad says. But why? I ask. I don't understand. I don't want Daddy to live somewhere else. Malia starts crying. Mom gets up and moves Malia to her lap so Malia can hug her. We need to work out a few things, Mom says. We're going to start seeing a counselor, someone to help us deal with all the stress I talked about. And in the meantime, your dad and I think that having a little space will help. Space. It's because this apartment is too small. If we were in the house, Dad wouldn't need to go stay with Uncle Spencer in order to get space. He could hang out in the living room or his office or the basement. But because all we can afford right now is this small apartment, now my parents can't stand to be near each other. What comes after separation? Divorce? Mom must see the expression on my face because she suddenly says, "We're not getting a divorce. This is temporary, I promise." There's that word again, temporary. So far, none of the changes I've been experiencing lately have been temporary. My eyes well up with tears, but I don't want Malia to see me cry. I have to be the strong one. But that's the problem, isn't it? I always have to be the strong one for Malia. I shouldn't have to do that. I'm still a kid too. Mom and Dad shouldn't put me in this position. It's going to be okay, Dad says, reaching over to squeeze my knee. We're going to be okay. I don't believe you. I swallow a sob, which causes a painful lump to form in my throat. The tone of my voice makes Malia stop crying for a minute, and she lifts her head off Mom's shoulders to look at me. Are you even thinking of me and Malia when you make these decisions, or are you only thinking about yourselves? I know you're upset, but I don't like your tone, Mom warns. Joy, Dad begins. No, I say, this isn't okay. None of this is okay. A small hand covers mine, Malia's. It's okay if you want to cry, she says. It's something I've said to her many times over the last few months. That does it. I can't hold the sob back anymore. It hurts too much. It bursts out of me, and my chest heaves as I try to get the words out. Do you understand how hard it is for me when you're arguing? I'm the one who has to comfort Malia and tell her it's going to be okay. I have to hide my feelings for her sake. But now you're moving out? That's going to make everything worse. Breathe, Dad says, coming to sit next to me. In and out, like this. I do what Dad says and calm down a little. Let's talk about this, Mom says. Was this your idea? I ask her. Are you making Dad leave? Mom shakes her head. No, we made this decision together. I'm not sure what to believe. I can't be here right now, and there's only one place to go. Standing up, I say, I need some space too. I'm going to Nora's. I don't see how my parents react because I rush out the door, letting it slam behind me, the sound echoing down the hallway. Thankfully, my parents don't follow me out. They're used to me saying I'm going to Nora's. I head downstairs hoping that nobody else will be in the hideout because more than anything, I want to be alone. When I get down there, I breathe a sigh of relief when I see that the lights are off and nobody's there. I never noticed it before, but the inside of the door to the hideout has a lock. I decide to lock it so none of the other kids will come down here. I can't stand to see anyone right now. I crawl onto my favorite beanbag chair and grab the fleece blanket that somebody left in a basket on the bottom of the bookshelf. I wrap it around myself and cry. I don't want to go back upstairs yet, so I text my mom. Joy, going to sleep over at Nora's apartment if that's okay. A few seconds later, my mom responds, Mom, that's fine. I'm sorry you're so upset. We'll talk some more in the morning. I turn on my favorite movie score playlist and wrap myself tighter in the blanket. I stare at the messages on the wall that I've been exchanging with the mysterious kid. Oliver? I wish I could talk to them right now. Writing back and forth to them used to make me feel less alone, but now I know it's all a lie. I still don't know for sure that it's Oliver, but what seems pretty clear is that they don't care about me. I think about them constantly, but they're probably not thinking about me at all. The truth is, I'm more alone than ever.